It's an autumn day like any other. The crunch of dead leaves in your backyard, the sharp breeze cutting through your sweater, the gritty taste of candy corn, and your mother's horrified face as you realize you've stepped on the crack in the sidewalk.
Unbecoming by Jackson Laughlin.
September 2nd, 2018, recording intro for Antora Peak from the mouth of hell. Welcome. I'm documentarian Nikolai Borisov. Should I call myself a documentarian? Okay, hold on. Welcome. I'm Nikolai Borisov. This is Antora Peak from the mouth of hell. For most Americans today, it may be hard to picture the 90s as anything besides blissful. Right after the Berlin Wall fell, Furbies hit the shelves of every toy store in the country. The Chicago Bulls had their 2 historic three-peats. Indeed, Americans today are proud to claim themselves as a 90s kid who, while suppressing memories of baggy suits and grungy flannel, remember the good old days before cell phones and social media formed their death grip on our day-to-day reality. But those who picture those years as the last true period of American nirvana, pun intended, forget the bad times. They forget that America was still young and naive, that each tragedy cut our pale, nubile skin deeply and left scars. They forget the Gulf War. They forget the Oklahoma City bombing. They forget the Columbine High School shooting. But you can't forget what you never knew. And most 90s kids never even knew about one of the worst events to plague American history. Most folks never learned about the 1993 Antora Peak Massacre. Rolling. Why don't you start off by saying your name?
Ollie.
Oh, I'm sorry, could you do your full name?
Nah.
What?
Nah, fuck that. Just credit me as Ollie.
Okay, but the viewers are going to know your name. I mean, people already know your name.
Right, fine. Jesus Christ. My name is Oliver fucking Bender. Is that good?
Yeah, that'll work.
Now, hand me the bolt cutters so I can cut this lock.
Oh,
Hey, maybe turn off the camera while I'm doing the whole property damage part of this.
Oh, shit, sorry. Antora Peak K-12, an old-fashioned school for an old-fashioned place. Nestled deep in the Rocky Mountains, this school proudly served the families of nearby towns, Sawash, Bonanza, and Moffett. Parents who wanted their kids to grow up amongst a small but tightly knit community were encouraged to enroll their pride and joy at the school. Since 1954, the school functioned in relative obscurity. Other than the denizens of the small local towns, almost no one knew it even existed. And that was a shame, because in its heyday, Antora Peak was beautiful. The building stood perched on a cliffside overlooking a valley of aspen and pine trees. While the building complex started with humble origins as a single wooden structure, a converted church building that had been purchased by the state, by 1982 it had been remodeled into a modern marvel. Federal grants for underserved rural schools had allowed the state to build 2 multi-storied buildings with impressive glass windows, more at place on a California college campus than a rural K-12 school. Looking at the 2 buildings, which were connected to one another via a windowed sky bridge, you would have likely marveled at their beauty, which, despite their modern construction, fit perfectly amongst their forested surroundings. But the pleasant sight of the buildings themselves was nothing compared to the stunning view one could see from one of the many windows within the complex, especially the view from the Sky Bridge, nicknamed the Skyway by students, from which one had a near 360-degree view of the beautiful forest land. It is great irony that this place, an oasis in a forested desert, one might say, became the site of one of the largest mass deaths in American history. Wow, there it is.
Yep, old Antora shit heap.
Can't believe how nice it is.
Really? Looks like a crap to me. Half the windows are broken, and it looks like we probably aren't the only ones who have snuck up here.
Well, but for the area, I mean.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
What?
Looks nice for a bunch of redneck shitbugs, right? Like you were thinking I went to school in a farmhouse? You think my classmates were all goats and chickens?
No, just, it's... that's not what I meant.
Yeah, Mr. Stanford surprised that us yokels weren't going to school in caves and shit, huh?
Jesus, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that.
Relax, Nick. I'm just fucking with you. Lighten up.
Right. Well, where do you want to start? I think it would be interesting to go film by the lockers in the north building. I know that's where the middle schoolers had theirs.
You're not even gonna ask me?
Ask you what?
What it's like to be back. Everybody's been trying to get me to talk about this place for years. I figured you'd want to know.
Oh, well, what is it like?
It's not what I was thinking. I was picturing it being bigger, you know?
How long since you were last here?
Since the day it all went down.
You haven't been back since 1993?
Nah, parents kept me home for 3 to 4 days after. By that point, the news hadn't let up. Practically swarmed our front yard from the time the police let me come home until I moved away, you know? They shipped me out to my grandparents in Idaho as soon as they could.
Wow. So what are you thinking about right now?
I don't know. Everybody always asks me what that day was like, but I went to school here for 7 years, kindergarten through 7th grade. Every day was here, you know? So, like, it was kind of my whole life, this place. I got a lot of memories here, not just that day.
Anything in particular?
Maybe. Like I said, it all felt so big when I was a kid. Now it's only 2 buildings and that bridge. I don't know how many people I went to school with. A couple of hundred, probably. I don't even know how we could all fit here.
97.
What?
On September 3rd, 1993, 97 students were enrolled at Antora Peak K-12.
Wow. A+ on the homework. 97. Felt like so much more back then. But I was just little, you know, and with the 8th graders, high schoolers, I mean, I only knew the ones that were in B Society with me.
There were 24 of you in the group. 8 high schoolers, 8 middle schoolers, 8 elementary schoolers.
Nah, 25.
No, I'm fairly sure it was 24.
24 kids, maybe. But it was 25. You're forgetting about Mr. G.
Oh, right. Do you want to talk about him?
Maybe later. Hey, I got a memory for you. For your audience.
What's that?
See that little clearing over there by the edge of the parking lot? Where the picnic table is?
Yes.
Got my dick touched there for the first time. 8th grade girl. Ysilda Owens.
Ah. Great. September 3rd was, by all outside accounts, supposed to be a normal Friday. Students were far from any pre-scheduled break, and no notable events were upcoming on the community calendar. The only noteworthy thing at all about the day was the date itself, the 9th month, the 3rd day, the 93rd year. 9393. September 3rd didn't become significant in the community around Antora Peak until the first call came into the sheriff, shortly before 10 in the morning. The call, of course, was the first report of the bodies. It was called in by Antora Peak's longtime janitor, Trent Porter. The 911 operator who took the call, Andrea Rodriguez, almost dismissed the call as a prank. By coincidence, she and Trent Porter had dated several years prior. The breakup had been bad, and he was known for calling emergency services to try to get to Andrea. She even looked into a restraining order, but didn't want to draw too much attention to the whole situation. If you've researched the case, you've probably heard part of the 911 call. Somebody at the sheriff's office leaked it to the Sawash County News.
Trent, this isn't funny. You know you can't call me here.
God damn it, woman, will you listen to me? We need sheriffs. We need ambulances. Holy fucking shit, it's so bad. This is so bad.
What is going on?
They're all fucking dead, Andrea. All the kids are... coming out. They're fucking dead.
What? Can you repeat that?
God, there must be at least 20 of them. Jesus, oh, the blood. Oh my God, the blood.
Trent, slow down. What is going on? Who did this?
I don't know. Oh God. Oh my God. It looks like they did it to themselves.
That audio, exploited by horror YouTubers and gaudy true crime podcasts, has become the lasting legacy of the Antora Peak massacre. Indeed, the clip is so well known that most folks don't realize that it's merely the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the horrors of September 3rd, 1993. The horrors of a massacre that left 23 children and 1 teacher dead. A mass death so horrible that the title of suicide, despite being technically correct, feels woefully inappropriate.
Holy fucking shit, man. Antora's shit heap. Still smells the same. You smell that, Nick? It's like sawdust mixed with lemon pledge. I can't believe it. Holy shit. They still have Marvelous.
Marvelous?
Maybe you missed a day of homework. See this statue? This grubby little cat? This is Marvelous, the mountain lion. He was the Antora Peak mascot. We put chewed gum in the thing's mouth. Used to drive the janitor crazy.
Charming. Ollie, can you tell us where we are at right now?
Oh, right. This is the lobby of Antora Peak K-12. To my right, the office, where your mommy would drop off your lunch if you forgot it at home. And to my left, the stairs for the second floor, which was my fucking kingdom, you know?
Can you try to be less... Can you try to say real things, Ollie?
Fine. This is the first floor. On this side, it's the office, the principal's office, the gym, the cafeteria, all that good stuff. In the second building over there, you got the first floor, which is the kindergarten and the elementary school. The second floor in both buildings is the middle school, and the third floor is the high school. You happy?
Why is there more space for the middle school and the high school?
I don't know, man. Maybe because the kids are just bigger. Maybe because there was more middle schoolers and high schoolers than little kids. Kids were sitting here when they got kicked out of other schools, so we got a lot of older kids.
But you went here your whole life.
Yes, sir. Didn't go to preschool, so my first experience with the old scholastic system was just about 100 yards away in that other building, kindergarten. The teacher's name was Miss Punchwald. Fuck, man.
What?
Just, brings back memories, I guess. Here, come here.
In total, there were 24 victims of the Antora Peak massacre. But at the same time, there were 24 killers. Each of the victims took their own life, a horrific display of mass suicide, not unlike the much grander massacre in Jonestown in 1978. The bodies of Antora Peak were found scattered amongst the sky bridge between its 2 campus buildings. They were all leaned against the glass windows on either side of the bridge. Each of the bodies bore similar wounds, 2 cuts on each wrist, horizontal so as to produce more blood, and a single cut above the heart in a shape that appeared to be an upside-down cross. Each of the dead died from blood loss. Toxicology indicated that the dead had all taken anticoagulant medication, which sped up the loss of blood from their body. At first, officers investigating the deaths believed a serial killing or perhaps a murder-suicide had led to the mass death. The sole adult found amongst the bodies, the corpse of guidance counselor Thompson Gaudier, was the initial suspect. But forensic analysis and on-scene interviews quickly rebutted that claim. The 24 dead all lacked any semblance of defensive wounds. Indeed, the only wounds present were those on the wrist and chest. There was no evidence that they had been bound or that any force had been used upon them at all. Knife mark analysis determined, based on the direction of the wounds, that they were likely self-inflicted. A total of 25 knives were recovered from the sky bridge. Blood splatter analysis indicated that the cuts and subsequent deaths occurred in the sky bridge itself. On the south side of the sky bridge, approximately 65 feet from where the bodies were found, there was a home economics class in progress. This class was the closest to the site of the deaths. No student in that class, of which there were 9, heard any screams or noises of protest from the sky bridge. Testing from officers indicated that students should have been able to hear screaming from the bridge. Indeed, the home ec teacher had often complained that her class was easily distracted by noise from the sky bridge itself. In short, the evidence was overwhelming. The 24 dead in Antora Peak likely entered the bridge sometime around 9:15 a.m. in the middle of classes. They cut their own wrists and chests, deeply, with little complaint or noise. Then they all sat down to die and promptly succumbed to their wounds prior to being discovered by Trent Porter at 10 a.m. Because classes ran from 9:10 to 10:10 a.m., and no student happened to cross the bridge during this time, the bodies were not discovered until they had all had sufficient time to exsanguinate, to bleed out. Officers and the county coroner questioned whether the injuries were severe enough to cause the children and sole adult to bleed out in that time frame. But ultimately, their doubts were answered by the unequivocal reality: the 23 children and 1 adult were dead when Trent Porter found their bodies. The coroner's analysis confirmed it. Of course, the exhaustive forensic analysis and testing only served to corroborate information that the police had already been given. One student was found on the sky bridge with only a partial injury, having cut one wrist and his chest, but not the other wrist. This student was a middle school boy. He was 11 years old, and that day he wore a black t-shirt, blue flannel shirt, and ripped blue jeans. His name was Oliver Matthew Bender. Everyone called him Ollie. He later told police he had not taken the anticoagulants and had cut his wounds far shallower than the others, which prevented him from bleeding out. In short, he chose not to die the way his peers had. Oliver Bender was taken first to the local hospital, then to the local sheriff's office. He was questioned for over 12 hours, telling the same story each time, and confounding the police. Only after police had determined that the forensic evidence supported the mass suicide theory, as they called it, did they finally decide Ollie was telling the truth. He was released to his parents. They declined to let the media interview Ollie. After several days of media harassment, as well as hate and blame from the local community, his parents relocated out of state. Oliver Bender followed the same course of action as his parents. For years, he refused to speak to any media. He turned down countless TV interviews and several offers for book deals. He remained silent until years later, when he finally decided to tell his story. His conditions were strange. He would only talk once, and only to a specific documentarian. Me, Nikolai Borisov. He said he had seen my work covering the Charlottesville protest in 2017 and felt I would, quote, be able to tell it like it really was, end quote. The list of conditions went on. He would only do the interview at the scene of the atrocity, Antora Peak K-12, and he would only do it on a specific day, the 25th anniversary of the suicides, September 3rd, 2018.
So, this is the gym, and over there by that mural of Marvelous on the wall, that's where I first met Mr. G.
Really?
Yep. Guess that's not in anything you've read before.
No, it's not. Everything I read is that the society met upstairs in the drama room.
Yeah, that's true. But I didn't meet him in the B Society. Met him at a pep rally. You ever have those in school? Whole school crams into the gym to cheer for the track and field team or something?
I'm familiar.
Yeah, well, Mr. G, that's when everybody first met him.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, I remember him. He had like a presence about him. Principal called the pep rally just because he was starting here. Got us all in here and told us we had a new guidance counselor who was going to help us have the best impact on the community or something like that. Thought it was shit. Everybody did. But then he came up on stage and started talking. Have you ever seen pictures of him?
I have.
Then you know what he was like. Big guy, 6'5", probably. Slender like a scarecrow, full head of hair, clean shaved. Always wearing like dark colors, purple, navy, black, and that kind of thing. Always a sweater. His voice was real loud, like a megaphone. Anyway, he takes the stage and he starts talking. Doesn't even need the principal's microphone. And like, kids are always talking during those rallies. Nobody really cares about some garbage track team's win over another shit team. But not when Mr. G talked. Everybody was silent.
What did he say?
He said, I have come here to help the best of you.
That's kind of a weird thing for a guidance counselor to say.
Yeah, I mean it was, but nobody really reacted like that. Like I said, he had this presence about him. You want to be the best around him, man. You wanted to make him like you, you know?
When did he announce he was starting the Brilliant Society?
Right then and there. He said, as my first act, I am forming a committee of the best from each year. The smartest, most talented, most important. The best. Some of you will be chosen to lead your peers. The Brilliant Society. I remember word for word, like I can play it in my head like a movie.
Did anyone think that was weird?
No, man. Nothing Mr. G said was weird, you know? He could tell you that you were a cow from Mars, and the first thing you'd think is, damn, where'd my fucking udder go? He just had that power.
When did you find out you were in the society?
The next day, I found a letter in my locker, sealed with real wax, telling me I was one of the best and that I was going to be in the society and that we would meet every day after school.
What did you think when you got the letter?
I kept thinking, man, they must have fucked up. I was failing half of my classes.
Thompson Gautier, or as the students in the Brilliant Society called him Mr. G, was about as mysterious of a character as you could find. Obviously, after the suicides, many journalists and investigators tried to track down information about him. But the information available was extremely limited. Here's what we know for sure. Mr. Gautier was born in Des Moines, Iowa on February 29, 1960. His parents' names were Ronald Gautier and Karen Musterford. The only records available about either of them were that Ronald did a short time in juvenile detention for petty shoplifting when he was 15, and that both he and Karen were ordained preachers at the local Protestant church. Thompson Gautier was a normal kid by all accounts, and as a result, his childhood was a mere blip on the radar of Des Moines. Records show that he went to a Bible college in Mississippi, and that he spent 5 years studying religion in the Middle East, Iraq, Turkey, and Israel, primarily. He returned shortly before the Gulf War tension escalated. He then obtained a master's degree in education from the University of Colorado. He was known to have served as a Protestant preacher in the Middle East while he was there, though there are few records available from that time. It is unknown when he came up with the idea for the Brilliant Society or the importance of September 3rd, 1993. What all researchers have found very apparent is that Mr. Gautier had always feared some kind of world-ending event was coming. He spoke often, even at a young age, of a day where the world would be invaded and conquered by demons. Most people he spoke to passed it off as a symptom of growing up the kid of two preachers. His interest in education, as well as the desire to become a guidance counselor, seemed solely motivated by his apocalypse-centric beliefs. Indeed, none of Mr. Gautier's friends or family remember him ever expressing an interest in education. But, as the evidence recovered from the drama room at Antora Peak K-12 indicates, Mr. Gautier's obsession with the end of the world heavily involved the sacrifice, as he called it, of children. It has been widely, and likely correctly, speculated that Thompson Gautier became a guidance counselor specifically to bring about the atrocity he led on September 3rd, 1993. Alright, Ollie, where are we now?
This is where it all went down.
Meaning?
Meaning it's the drama room, where the meetings were.
How does it compare to when you were last here?
I mean, police must have taken a lot of stuff. Mr. G had a bunch of posters up. We didn't have a drama class or club. Well, we had one, like 5 or 6 years before, but nobody was interested, so it dried up. Meantime, Mr. G got to use this classroom as like his whole office. So he had all these posters about God and becoming the best version of yourself.
Did anyone ever question the religion in a public school?
Nah, everyone around here is a Bible thumper anyway, so... Plus, nobody ever questioned Mr. G.
Ollie, I'd like to ask you about the Brilliant Society, but I don't know how much you're willing to say. I don't know where the line is.
Come on, man. I chose you because you seemed like you wouldn't pussy out. Ask what you want to ask.
Okay. What was the first meeting like?
You sat us down, 8 kids from elementary, middle, high school, 24 in total. He told us we were really important and that we were going to save the world. He said we were the best, not because of our grades or our families, but because we were the most pure.
Did he tell you what that meant?
No, he always just said it. Said he had reviewed every student and just knew that we were the best. Like I said, nobody ever questioned Mr. G. You just listened.
What were the meetings like?
Well, at first, they were like get-to-know-ya meetings, like play games, team-building shit. And then he'd end every meeting with like a story. Kind of like scary stories, I guess.
Do you remember any of the stories?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the one he told on the first meeting. He told us that there would come a time, a long time from then, where God's real demons would take the earth. That's what he called them, God's real demons. He said that it was for purification and because people had become wicked. He called it the Unbecoming. And he said the demons would find our families, like my parents, my friends' parents.
He said they'd find your parents?
Yeah, and he knew their names. Like, he'd point at me and say, like, the demons are going to find Julie Bender and they're going to tear out her spleen and feed it to her. And he'd say, like, and Mr. Bender, Derek Bender, he's going to have to watch while his wife eats her own spleen, and so on. But graphic, really graphic, and specific. Like, there was this kid named Lindsay Beckers, and her dad actually had only one eye, had lost the other in a farming accident or something. And Mr. G talked about the demons were going to take his one good eye so he would suffer in the darkness.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was fucked up. Scary shit, but we would all listen and, like, nobody said anything. And then he'd say we had to keep the meeting secret or we wouldn't be able to stop God's real demons.
He said you could stop them?
Oh yeah. He said that's what it was all about. That was the purpose of the Bee Society. We were going to stop the purification, stop God's real demons, the GRDs as he called them. Sometimes. We were going to show God we could be so perfect, so brilliant, so devoted, he wouldn't do it.
Did you believe all that?
Well, I don't think I did at first. I don't think, but over time, over the course of the meetings, I think I started to believe it.
Did you ever tell anybody about what he was saying to you?
As far as I know, nobody did. Nobody wanted to betray Mr. G like that, and I think everybody believed him, eventually anyway.
It just seems so ridiculous.
I guess. Well, except he kind of showed us proof, you know?
Proof?
Yeah, he had this video on a camcorder. He said he had taken it in Iraq, in an ancient place. He said it almost killed him to get the footage. It was a video of like this tomb, and you could see him in it. He turned the camera around to show his face. And he goes into the tomb, and there's this thing chained in the tomb. It's like a person, but it's got these long, weird arms, and its face is like a skull, kind of, except it's moving. And the rest of its body is naked and pale. And it makes these strange, gross noises, like a weird clicking. But you could hear kind of like words in it. You can't quite hear what it's saying, but the parts you can hear sound like it's talking about you. Even on the video, it sounded like it was talking about me and my parents and hurting them.
But Ollie, that video wasn't real.
I guess, but in 1993, nobody thought you could... Well, everybody thought it had to be real. It looked real, and the video was gross. Mr. G was with all these people from Iraq, and one of them brought up a goat to the thing, and it ripped it apart. And the whole time, it kept making these clicking, clacking sounds. It was like some kind of sacrifice. But the video made it clear that this thing was powerful. I don't even know how they got it in there. It moved like it could tear somebody's head off.
What did Mr. G say this thing was?
It was one of the GRDs. And it was still around from the last time they had to purify something. And it was proof that what he was saving was real.
Oliver, this is...
Yeah, it's fucked up, I get it. I've been thinking about this for 25 years, man. It's fucking sick, dude. He made a bunch of kids watch that shit.
Ollie, do you want to stop? We don't have to keep going.
No, I'm seeing it, man. Let's fucking see it.
We really don't have to.
Don't pussy out on me, Nick. I want to fucking see it. I want to see the fucking Skyway.
Jesus, Ollie, man, wait!
While media and police knowledge of Mr. Gautier's past is limited at best, their knowledge of his plan for September 3rd, 1993 was well documented. Gautier kept meticulous notes. The Brilliant Society was hand-selected, the kids most likely to go along with his plan. Not the best, not the smartest, the most vulnerable, the most malleable. It's no coincidence that more than one selected was on an individualized education plan, that more than one had absentee parents or a disciplinary history. These 24 kids were exploitable, vulnerable, capable of being manipulated. The several months in which the Brilliant Society existed were essentially a long-term religious grooming exercise. Gautier exposed the children to media and social practices meant to convince them that they were some kind of chosen individuals, and that only they could undertake this great sacrifice, via the ritualistic suicide. Mr. Gautier's notes indicated the intent of the suicide was to stop an event he called the Unbecoming. His notes referenced the returns of creatures he called GRDs, and how they would return in due time if the suicide did not occur. In short, it was a biblical sacrifice. Interestingly enough, Mr. Gautier had a wide collection of artifacts and documents, purportedly from ancient Iraq, that, when translated, seemed to indicate a similar ritual had taken place a long time ago with similarly aged children. Translators and historians dispute the validity of these documents, some claiming Gautier had himself made the documents to support his plan. And the plan was simple. 25 individuals, mostly children, would end their lives on a day of power. Gautier had identified several possible days of power, including September 3rd, 1993. The recurring numbers, 9393, are part of what led him to this conclusion. Mr. Gautier left little records about what other days could constitute days of power. All that is known is that Mr. Gautier believed there were a finite number of them, and that the sacrifice would only work on one of these days.
Ollie, Jesus, man.
It looks so much smaller now.
Yeah. The sky bridge?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you were just a kid then.
not just a kid, man. One of the best.
What?
Hey, can I ask you a question?
What?
The research you did, your homework, did it ever, turn up anything about days of power?
Days of Power? Oh, wait, yes, from Gaudier, and Mr. G's notes.
What did the notes say?
They said that September 3rd was significant because it was like magic or something.
No, not magic. He said it was special, powerful. The world was more aligned, easy to send the message.
Right, something like that.
You know why I chose the bridge instead of the drama room?
I don't.
Yeah, you wouldn't. I doubt he wrote it down. He didn't even say it very often. See how you can see everything both ways? The mountains, the trees, everything?
Well, it's dark right now, but
Oh god, shut up, Nick. You know what I mean. You can see out. To the west, to the east, the north, the south, to the fucking sky. All those fucking stars. And that means that you could see in. If you were out there, if you were God, you could see it all happen.
Ollie, why don't we move to the other building? This building is pretty old. I'm not sure this bridge is still stable.
Fuck that! Nick, you read all his notes, right? You know what they fucking say, right?
Ollie, are you okay?
Shut up! Did you read them?
Yes, I did.
Did he say what the other days of power were? Did he?
Ollie, no. The only day he ever said was September 3rd. But it's not real, Ollie. It's all just made up.
You don't fucking know that. You didn't watch the fucking tapes, Nick. You don't watch 24 fucking people bleed out in front of you. While you were too big of a pussy to do your part, you don't know if it was real or not.
Ollie, the world didn't end, man. There was no unbecoming.
Fuck you! You didn't talk to him. You aren't who I fucking thought you were. You didn't even think about it. The world wasn't going to end that day either way.
What?
Never mind. This shit's done. Turn the fucking camera off. This is over.
Oliver, what are you talking about? What is going on?
Get out of here, man. I'm done.
Okay, all right, Oliver, I'm turning off the camera. It's over.
I'm sorry I brought you here, man. It should have just been me.
What do you... Whoa. Oliver, stop. Why do you have a knife?
I fucked up, man. I was too scared. I didn't want to die. But what was in those tapes, that was worse. That was way fucking worse than dying.
Well, Jesus fucking Christ, Ollie, what are you doing? You don't have
Don't fucking touch me, Nick. You don't know what I have to do. Back the fuck up.
Okay. Oliver, I promise that this isn't real.
Mr. G used to say the end would come in years. 25 fucking years, Nick. Today, Nick. That's why September 3rd was so powerful, man. It was 25 years early. It was way ahead of schedule.
For the unbecoming?
Today. It's today. Tonight. And it's going to happen because we didn't finish it. I didn't finish it. Ugh.
Oliver, please stop. You don't have to do this.
If 25 years ago was a day of power, today would be 2, right? I've always regretted it, Nick. I've always regretted not doing it. Day 1, I knew I should have done it. I knew it. But I didn't know the right day to finish the job. I didn't know which days were powerful, man, but today has to be, right? Doesn't it?
Ollie, please.
It has to be. It has to be. Nick, film this. Show the world I did my fucking part.
Oliver, don't! Jesus, Ollie, we have to go. We have to get you to the hospital.
Nah, Nick. I didn't take any chances. Time's almost up. Day's almost over. I took a bunch of these anyway.
What the fuck is this? Ollie, what did you do?
Nick. Will you tell them?
We have to go, Ollie. Fuck, man, this is bad.
Nick. Will you tell them? Tell them I did my part. I didn't pussy out this time. I did it.
God.
I promise I did my part. Even if it wasn't the right day. I did it.
Oliver, please stay with me, man, please. Oliver, come on, man. Fuck. Jesus Christ. Oh, man, fuck. Hey, this is Nick. Listen, things got really bad at the school. Like, super bad. Ollie... God, he fucking killed himself. Yeah, seriously. I'm sorry, it's really bad. I can't call 911. We shouldn't even be here, man. We're trespassing. No, I had no idea he was gonna fucking do it. What the fuck? He just came out the sky bridge and he freaked out and he just... Hold on, I just heard something. I'm on the bridge now. The weather just got fucking crazy. Will you call someone? We need to get this cleaned up, or... Holy shit, there's someone on the ground down there. Wait, what's... His face is all... Holy shit, oh fuck! Oh my god, what the fuck are you? What the fuck?
Nikolai Borisov, you are wicked.
Oh. All he did it. He killed himself. Please don't do this. Please, no, please. Please.
The wicked are unbecome. 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 The wicked are unbecome.
At best, the beliefs of Thompson Gautier were little more than the ramblings of a religious zealot. At worst, they were a weak explanation a charismatic man gave a bunch of vulnerable kids to convince them to hurt themselves. It's unclear which scenario is more horrifying. A wicked man who thinks himself righteous, or a wicked man who knows himself wicked. The only thing we'll ever know for sure about the Antora Peak massacre, a tragedy that left 24 dead and a single traumatized survivor, is that it was all for naught. No matter how many kids died, it did not fulfill any kind of grander purpose. It was no holy sacrifice, no act of martyrdom. It was bullshit. And it certainly didn't stop the end of the world. How did that sound? Was that too much?
Nah, it was good. We can always re-record after you talk to Oliver.
Alright. Sounds good then.
Thank you for listening to Crack in the Sidewalk. The Unbecoming was written by Jackson Laughlin. Oliver Bender was played by Zachary Evins. Trent Porter was played by Alex Kishiyama. Andrea Rodriguez was played by Dilyn Myers. Offscreen voice was played by Spencer Renna. Nikolai Borisov and narration were performed by Joseph Laughlin. Crack in the Sidewalk is an original horror fiction podcast created, written, edited, and produced by Jackson Laughlin, Alex Kishiyama, Spencer Renna, and Alex Poling. All rights reserved. If you enjoyed this tale of nostalgic horror, please follow us on social media and listen to the remainder of our tales wherever podcasts are found. Crack in the Sidewalk social media can be found in the show notes. We'll return soon with another tale. We know you'll be here. You've always been here with us, underneath the sidewalk.